Imagine walking into your home at the end of a long day and feeling calm instead of overwhelmed, where things are under control. Not perfect, but manageable, where your days have a rhythm and you're not constantly playing catch up, and where your relationship with God is part of your everyday life, not something that feels out of reach. If you're a busy working mom, it can feel like having a peaceful, well managed, God centered home is not realistic for this season of life. But I want you to know that it actually is possible. And in this video, I'm going to show you what that can look like. But first, I'm going to walk you through the method I used to get there. Hi, I'm Wendy. Welcome to my Life Jam, where I help working moms simplify home management while building a God centered life, even with limited time. My goal for this channel is to help you get your home under control so you can stop feeling overwhelmed, stop feeling behind, and start having more time and energy for what really matters most to you and your family. And the reason this matters so much to me is because I didn't always have that. I'm the mother of 4 children. They're all grown now, but I still remember when my first two were really little. I remember sitting on the couch, feeling frozen and stuck there because I had so much to do. I didn't even know where to start. It was so overwhelming. At that point, my home felt anything but peaceful. It was very chaotic. I wasn't really taught how to take care of a home, so I had no idea of how to run a home in a way that worked well. There were always dirty dishes piled up in the sink. We had a mountain of dirty laundry that I was trying to wash every Saturday, but it seemed like it took forever to get through washing all the loads, and the clothes never got folded and put away. They just stayed in baskets, and then we pulled from the baskets when we needed something to wear. I always struggled with figuring out what to feed everyone, which seemed to be a constant problem. And even though I was a Christian, God wasn't a part of our daily life at home back then. We basically just went to church on Sundays, and for a while we didn't even go to church because life felt too busy. I felt out of control. I did not like it, and I knew something needed to change. So there were 3 main things I focused on to make this happen. First, I focused on fixing one area at a time. I stopped trying to fix everything at once and just focused on one problem. I thought about what wasn't working and started with the area that was bothering me the most. The first thing I did involved our meals because that was something I had to deal with multiple times a day, every day, and it felt urgent. So I created a simple rotating meal plan for dinners, something I could make once and not have to worry about what's for dinner anymore. We ended up using it for years or some version of it. Creating that meal plan was a way for me to gain control over my home and my life. Everything started to seem a little less overwhelming. After I got the what to feed my family problem under control, I moved on to the other things that were bothering me, like laundry, organization, and dishes. Action step. Instead of trying to fix everything at once, pick the one problem that's bothering you the most and start there. Once you get that under control, which I will talk about in point 2, then move on to the next problem. Then I focused on creating simple systems and habits. Once I started fixing some of those problem areas, I realized I needed a way to keep things running without having to constantly think about everything. So I started creating simple systems for the things I was doing over and over again, like laundry and cleaning. I made a plan for what needed to be done, how I was going to do it, when I was going to do it, and how often. I concentrated on making the systems as simple and flexible as possible, and I made sure they fit my personality and my schedule. I just focused on what would actually work for me, even on busy days. For example, if you don't have a dishwasher, you might have a sink full of dirty dishes. You can power up the energy and get them washed and put away that one time, but you need a way to keep doing it on a regular basis so that it feels like it's under control. For me, I looked at what I was doing that wasn't working, and that was thinking that it was easier to only do dishes once a day. But when the time came to do them, it seemed so overwhelming. I had a big pile of dishes with dried on food that I had to scrub off, and it took such a long time to wash. A lot of times I couldn't even bring myself to do it, so I put it off to the next day, which was even worse. This was a pattern I continued for years. This is what I started doing differently. So I decided that in order to stay on top of dishes, I needed to do them more often. I started washing them after breakfast, lunch, and dinner, washing in hot, sudsy water, rinsing, and then putting them into the dish drainer to air dry. I put away the dry dishes just before I washed the next batch, except for the dry dinner dishes. They would get put away while I was making my morning cup of tea. I repeated these actions every day, and they eventually became habits. I also worked on developing habits that supported my systems. I started the habit of rinsing dishes immediately after using them and placing them into a plastic tub until it was dishwashing time. This made it so much easier and faster to get the job done. I also started the habit of setting a 15-minute timer before I started washing. This helped me to get motivated, stay focused on my task, and it also helped me to realize that it doesn't really take me that long to wash dishes when I keep up on them. This dishwashing system works so well for me, I'm still using it. Over time, the simple systems and habits I created made my home feel a lot more manageable and a lot less overwhelming. Action step. After you choose the one problem that's bothering you the most and start making progress on it, create a simple system that fits your life and your schedule. Figure out what needs to be done and when you'll do it and how often you'll do it. Then build small habits to help you keep it going. After I started putting systems in place, I focused on building a God centered home. My work schedule has changed over the years, but I worked most of the time while my kids were growing up. Before I had these systems in place, it felt like every day was just going to work, coming home to cook, clean, and do laundry, and then going to bed, only to wake up and do it all over again the next day. Getting ahead of all the stuff I had to do felt impossible. But once I created these systems, my home started to feel more manageable. And for the first time, I actually had some free time. I was able to start using that time for the things that really mattered to me. And for me, that started with my relationship with God. I realized that if I wanted a stronger relationship with God, I needed to be intentional about making time for Him in my everyday life. So I made time to pray. I started reading my Bible regularly. Well, I actually listened to it through a Bible app on my phone. And I began turning to God throughout my day, not just when things were quiet, but in the middle of everyday life. That started to change everything. I wasn't just getting more done, I was creating space for what mattered most. And from there, it naturally began to affect the other areas of my life: how I spent time with my family, how I approached my responsibilities, and how my home felt overall. Action step. Once your home feels more manageable, start being intentional about making time for God in your everyday life. Look for small pockets of time where you can begin to pray, read your Bible, or turn your thoughts toward Him, and let that shape how you live your daily life at home. Creating a peaceful, well managed, God centered home is not about doing everything perfectly. It's about starting with what's not working, creating simple systems that free up your time, and then using that time to focus on what truly matters. It looks like walking into a home that feels more calm and manageable, knowing what needs to be done and having a simple plan to keep things running. But it also looks like intentionally making time for God in your everyday life, not just when you have extra time, but as part of your regular day. It's choosing to spend time with Him in small, consistent ways, praying throughout your day, reading and studying the Bible, and turning to Him for guidance. Over time, as you read and study the Bible, you'll begin to use biblical principles to guide how you run your home and how you spend your time in it. Those principles will start to become part of who you are and naturally carry into other areas of your life. You'll begin to live this out day by day, and as you do, you'll also model it for your children, helping them learn what it looks like to live a God centered life as well. And when those pieces come together, your home doesn't just feel more organized, it feels more peaceful, more purposeful, and more aligned with what really matters. And that is possible, even in a busy season of life. And just remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to look like somebody else's life. It just has to work for you. And if this is the kind of home and life you want to create, I would love for you to subscribe and join me here, where I help you simplify home management, be more productive, and grow closer to God. Thank you.